Hello once again, good people. So another month has gone by, which means another bunch of visits to local comic shops. There's a bit of a catch up, because this is actually from March. So sorry about that. But then again, there's only a handful of new releases, and I don't know, nothing too crazy in there. Mostly going to be talking about like older releases, and as we do, we'll stop once in a while to talk about the art and writing contained within. The way we'll do it for this one is like the more expensive stuff from each shop, and then going down to like the bargain type stuff uh, for the end of each like section or shop. Okay, without further ado, let's go. First shop I was in was Cover to Cover, aka the bookshelf, and found this Alien Worlds with the Dave Stevens cover. This is worth a little bit, isn't it? Alien Worlds #2. I already have a copy of this, but I figured like it's a pretty good price. This even has interior comic called Aurora by Dave Stevens. Bruce Jones on the writing, so you know that's awesome. And there's another cool story in here too. Who did the second one? Ken Steacy. I'm going to show some of that one too while we get past this. Show some of this more Dave Stevens. So this will probably be a flip, but yeah, shame on me. But let's make a profit sometimes. Evil. But this like wordless story by Ken Steacy, this is pretty cool. The spotting of blacks and the color and compositions are really neat on it too. It's kind of a cool one here. Some space sci-fi horror short story. Pretty fun. Okay, moving on. Aliens Colonial Marines, #8 of 10. So, if you're ever seeing these Aliens Colonial Marines, first of all, I'll say this is really fun to read. I haven't read it to completion yet because I was missing #8. Now I'm missing the final #10. But I like was collecting these for a long time because I liked the one or two issues that I read, and just finally was able to binge them up to #7, and I was like, oh man, I need number 8, #10. So found #8. Puckett, Guinan, Nadeau. Earlier it's like Guinan, Akins, I forget, one of the Heartbreakers guy. But anyways, it's a good team on this. If I do recommend this out of all the Alien stuff, and it's not as good as like Salvation or Labyrinth, or maybe it's up there with like Stronghold. But if you ever see these, the Colonial Marines, you'll see the early issues say that's out of 12. And then later on it's out of 10, so they like kind of shaved it down. But it is the same series, so to avoid confusion there. This is a good one. Okay, one that I had on my wish list for a long time, The Black Lamb by Tim Truman and Sam Parsons. Kind of like sci-fi horror, written from like kind of the villain's point of view, but Eastern Europe, the late 18th century, from the memoirs of Franz Murnau. Just skip a little bit here. Yeah, I like this. It starts with the sepia tone too, the colors by Sam Parsons. Lantern in hand, I followed the men to the crypt. Night was almost upon us. A specialist was summoned. He began his work by placing a coin beneath the dead thing's chin. Next he placed garlic upon its lips strangely flush with the pulse of life. The specialist instructed the men to nail the cadaver's clothing to the sides of the coffin. That done, a wooden stake was driven into the corpse's stomach. Next came the wife, so beautiful and lifelike in her repose. The specialist pinned her through the breast, and with a sudden expert flourish removed the head. My teacher prayed for the salvation of their souls. I knew that he actually wished for their damnation. In the last coffin was a boy, so far, so serene in his slumber, until the unforgiving moon arose, and his eyes opened. The specialist pinioned the boy's head with a wooden pole, while the dead child's undead screams filled the night. But alas, we were not alone in hearing those screams. The Black Lamb Timothy Truman, writer, illustrator, creator, Sam Parsons, color artist. I like this like character design of the Black Lamb too. Almost like a Hellboyish kind of vibe here. He's kind of the he hunts the monster hunters. Flip to the future. Cut to the future. It even says the future, the city. Yeah, and this, you get this Tim Truman kind of design too of a weird dystopian sci-fi future that has monsters as well, kind of like outlaws outside of society. Yeah, so I've only read like the first two issues so far because it actually has a lot of world building and a lot of like it's kind of thick, kind of rich. Like for instance here, last evening's pyrotechnics display has worried our quarry. Word circulates quickly in their shadowy covens. They're lying low. A good sign. Our blow shook them deeper than I could have hoped. We done 'em hard, huh? I knew it. Never had such a rush, man. We didn't do it for the rush, Mr. Gunner. Yeah, you got your reasons, man. I got mine. So, kind of like, normally you could just be like, we were too brash. It scared them and they're hiding. And like, well, I enjoy killing monsters. We don't do it for the enjoyment, but it's kind of like, you have to, there's subtext or undertone that it's not so blatant. I mean, that's not the best example, but you're kind of like, you're actually reading this. It's not really dumbed down. So a lot of stuff happens in each issue, it seems to. So that's kind of cool because you can like, I'm not just like powering through this for the 6 issues, the 6-issue miniseries, kind of like digesting each issue as it comes. But yeah, he's kind of like, you remember in M how there's kind of like an organized crime mob, or each neighborhood is kind of like organized crime and they have like their own like court systems outside of the law and stuff like that. And they kind of employ the Black Lamb to like hunt people that are hunting their monster society, it seems. Yeah, and I just kind of like this kind of simple but fun kind of drawing too. You can never go wrong with that kind of like lighting on the eyes and stuff too. And yeah, the designs. I just love the Tim Truman kind of designs, costumes and stuff. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Like that kind of face too. Yeah, just like, I don't know how he gets kind of like a texture, or there's like a thickness on stuff. Like those kind of, the brush strokes, I guess, too. Yeah, just like kind of simple, but it just really satisfies me. At first, I didn't really used to like Tim Truman, but he's grown on me so much. He's like one of my favorite guys to look for. Okay, so that was Black Lamb number 1. And number 2, again with this like sick design and like line work that he does. I was piecing together that Dark Horse Presents that has Sin City, so I have all of it now. There's number 55. However, I guess the first appearance of Dark Horse Presents, or of Sin City rather, isn't in Dark Horse Presents number 50. It's in like 5th anniversary special of Dark Horse Presents. So that's harder to find. Darn it, I'm missing that one. But I think it's like $50 and up generally, or maybe even more. So that'll be hard to find. Here I was thinking it was just Dark Horse Presents number 50, but no. It starts with chapter 2 and number 51, and chapter 1 of Sin City is in that Dark Horse Presents 5th anniversary special. Word of the wise. Yeah, I always get these Marvel Comics Presents Weapon X, just putting like 2 sets together at the same time. Was missing a couple issues of Shaolin Cowboy. This is one of them they had there. They have a couple others there still left that I do have already, if anybody's looking for these. $5.50 though, so you're not paying, you're paying retail. But, when it comes to filling holes in the collection, I'll do so. Which is this? This is from 2013. I guess it's kind of an infamous word list, I think. Like, it's all just double page spread to 2 wide screen panels of this, like, long staff with chainsaws fight against all these like hordes of zombies. And I gotta say again, it's like it's like fun and it's whimsical and stuff, and you could tell that he gets enjoyment out of it. But I wish he would like get reined in and collab with like a crazy writer like Frank Miller again, Hard Boiled. And that means I mean no disrespect to him, but I've mentioned it before. Sometimes like artists when they're doing their own thing, they're kind of like you could tell that they're like having fun, like drawing what they want to draw. But I wish they would get reined in and like also tell not just an entertaining kind of story. I hesitate to use the word like disposable, but I wish there were, in the compared to something like Hard Boiled, it's not the writing isn't like as great, right? So I wish it was the case. I hope that he does something like that again, because all this like the Shaolin Cowboy stuff, I really enjoy the art, but I just wish it was like hitting on that level too. That like because the art is like absolutely mind blowing, A plus plus, and like the writing is fine, but if the if the writing was A plus God tier also, then it would just be a masterpiece for the ages, like on all fronts, right? So that's the one thing that always kind of feels bitter about looking at these Shaolin Cowboys to me. I haven't like read the later miniseries though, I guess. So I don't know. I fucking love Jeff Darrow though, but just gotta nitpick a little bit. Put in my 2 cents for 499 cents. Shaolin Cowboy at Cruel to Begin #3. Filling in Tales of Terror. This is Tales of Terror #3. I really like this and Twisted Tales are kind of like some of my favorite horror anthologies, I guess. I think I'd say Twisted Tales is like up there though, maybe higher. Who do we got here? Grey Morrow. I haven't read this one. I do know that I like this series. There's one that like I'm like not gonna sell and stuff ever. I like this Frankenstein getting a tomato in the face. So it's a little bit comedic, but also showing how the inhumanity towards our human monster here. Nice looking stuff though. I like this classical style. The second story by Bob Curran and David Lloyd, anyways, on the art. David Lloyd always manages to like move me. It seems emotionally with his stories. Even some anthologies I've seen, like the stories are like not even that deep or anything, but he's just so effective at like man. I know this is gonna get me somehow. His stuff. It's pretty awesome. Who does the third one? May as well look while we're here. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, okay, this one's pretty funny too. Anyways, moving on. Tales of Terror, I recommend it. For $2.50, it's one of those things like I'll only film like holes in the collection for like paying like higher prices, but for like $2.50 or like you could find these in dollar bins too and stuff too, and Twisted Tales sometimes. Unless people are savvy. Some people are smartening up and they're charging more for them, but okay, Neil Gaiman's Technophage #2. Now I have a run of like #1 to 7. I'll finally like read this and let you guys know. I've read like #1 and #3, and they're kind of like they just remind me of like heavy metal kind of stuff, like heavy metal magazine kind of stories. Or I almost want to say like Liquid Television or something weird too, like some weird '90s stuff like The Head or something. But I'd put it more in the realm of heavy metal magazine. Rick Veitch and Brian Talbot. Oh yeah, I love Brian Talbot's art. Just rules, man. Okay, again, like I don't know what this is, but I'm so close to putting a run of it together. Boundless Comics, who's kind of like the TNA wing of Avatar, which is like really hard R-rated violence, but this as well. Boundless, as well as having violence, has like sex and stuff too, right? So they're hard to get here, but I think I have all of these now with War Goddess #1, Mike Wolfer. Mike Wolfer, a pretty decent writer a lot of the time. I'm not familiar with this guy's art though. Yeah, I've said before, I guess is like it kind of just flipping through it. It looks like it's like an R-rated kind of like rip-off of Wonder Woman maybe, or some kind of Viking chick, or I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't wanna like talk nonsense though. So I'll just keep moving. Wolverine, The Best There Is. I want to say this is by Chris Huston and Juan Jose Rip, but Chris Huston is like the guitarist from Forgotten Rebels, right? Old Canadian punk band. But it's not Chris Huston. I always think it is. But the writing by... Who is Huston? Which Huston is this? Anyways, is it Jack Huston? I always forget. But yeah, the writing on this is like pretty excellent too. It's not mind blowing, but it's enough that like I thoroughly enjoy it. And Juan Jose Rip's art is it rips. Yeah, and like probably not just that I enjoy the like I kind of rate stuff by the amount of times that I can like reread or rewatch. Say if it was a movie, I could probably reread this like a, at least a couple, maybe like three or more times even. Like basically only like masterpieces like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly or Akira or fucking like The Shining or something. You know what I mean? Those are like 5 stars out of 5 to me. So not a lot of stuff reaches that level. Basically, it would be 5 or more. Obviously, I could watch those movies a fucking million times. Clockwork Orange and Akira, I'll watch those hundreds of times. But not to digress. But like, say, yeah, you know what? That doesn't really make sense because I could read this like it's worth more than 3 out of 5 stars. I'd say. Yeah, this guy's wearing a damn shirt. How about that? Bam. But yeah, pretty fun this one. I'd say like if you like the Charlie Houston, okay. If you like the style, I've talked about it in previous videos, but yeah, take a chance on it if you see it in a bargain bin or something. That was number. I'm just like getting the whole thing. Got numbers like 1 to. Blah blah blah. Who cares? Number 7. It's a 12-issue series. Numbers 1 to 6 is the first like story arc. Number 7 to 12 is the second. Here's number 7. I haven't read this yet. I just finished reading the first one. Yeah, liked it. You know, I'd be getting these Tops comics. Zorro by Don McGregor and Mike Mayhew. Who did this cover? Galassi. That's Zorro number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 8 is by... Sorry, I don't recognize that signature. Number 9. Yeah, there's a used trade paperback section. There's like a lot of... There's some good deals there, but you dig. Like every time I'm there, I'm like 2 hours, 3 hours or so. And I only managed to like scratch like one corner of everything. But used trade paperbacks, this is Frank Miller's Sin City Family Values. This is from like the era of when I was kind of like not as into the releases of Sin City. Like you know, the first like 4 or 5 story arcs fucking rule, but then I didn't end up keeping this one, so I'll revisit it and see how it is. You know, in all these years later, how it looking at it with like these eyes now. Sin City Family Values. Okay, finally found Alien Legion number 1. This series, you can find these issues in like bargain bins, quarter bins, or whatever, like everywhere. But I've never seen issue number 1 of volume 1. You can see issue number 1 of the volume 2, which I think is Chuck Dixon and Larry Stroman. But yeah, this is on the recommendation of that channel. I guess it's been about a year since I recommended them to you, but probably a few times since then. But Comics Rot Your Brain, they did like an hour and a half long episode about this series, and like those are fun episodes to listen to. So Alien Legion, I guess it's about like almost like a French Foreign Legion in space, where it's just kind of like a ragtag group join up just for action and adventure, or because legally they have to serve or else face other kind of consequences. And I think it's kind of like episodes. Each issue stands alone. I think there is overarching story arcs, and maybe even characters can die, but like most of them recur and stuff. Maybe like the TV show Combat, but yeah, the fact that they're standalone stories rules too. Holds no education degrees and no employment licenses. These are kind of like character sheets here. Dirge. University certified, holding advanced autodidact degrees in cosmology, military history, and classical Galarkic literature. Autodidact, that means like self-taught, right? They can like self-educate. Psychometric observations indicate a sense of yeah. Looking forward to these because it seems fun. So yeah, there's like what 10, 20 bins or so long boxes of like series that are like a discount because I guess it's just stuff that kind of collects dust and it's like not on the beaten path. Like only weirdos will be looking for this stuff, luckily. So the first 4 issues of this for $4. Yeah, these sets. Um, X-Men Apocalypse versus Dracula. I like both those characters. This is $1 each for, and I think this is like Thierry. I was saying that some of his writing seemed pretty good too. Trying out some Marvel stuff. The Brave and the Bold, Green Arrow, The Butcher, and The Question by Mike Grell, sorry, Mike Barron, and Shea, Anton, Pensa. Yeah, this is issues number 4, 1 to 4 for $3. And I like those writers. The artist I'm not familiar with. Elbow, you recommended, or you were mentioning some other stuff that he did, but I just read this the other day, and it's like totally fine. You know that era where Grell and Baron was kind of like doing Punisher. Grell was Green Arrow, I guess. Um, yeah, it's like fine. I'd say this is totally passable. This is in the maybe pile for me of like ones to keep. It's kind of like I think of a lot of this kind of non popular comics as like what I like about it. It's almost like good VHS or like kind of straight to video movies where they have like a good, pretty decent budget and like creative control, and they can kind of like do weird stuff. But yeah, this to me is kind of like, 80s action movies where it's kind of like, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not like, the best. But I just wanted to show this DC house style back then. Like when you think about it, like a lot of like independent artists were probably as good as working as some of the people working for DC. Oh, nice spike trap there. So, not to shit on this guy, but I'm just saying, like, anybody with aspirations out there, there are times that people like this good can work for DC, and you see this a lot. Like, I'd say in this era, like, say people kind of shit on the modern era, but we have a lot of fucking crazy good artists. There's a lot of crap artists too, of course, but like, there's like, we're, there's crazy art out there. This isn't bad, but I'm just saying it's like, it's not as refined. Would you consider it ready for prime time, working for the big two? It's probably like good enough for like you to see like independent stuff looking this good. Yeah, sorry if that sounds shitty. You know what I mean, right? Okay, a set of Savage Dragon Sex and Violence numbers 1 and 2, again for like $1 each. I don't really remember this. This looks like Jason Pearson or what's his name, Carl Story inking. Who all worked on this? Okay, I have this like flagged. Okay, it's like Adam Hughes, and some other dudes. I remember reading this when it came out, but I didn't keep it. But maybe I'll check it out. Gross, Savage Dragon in the shower. Sorry, I'll skip here. I'll just flag for a reason. Okay, breakdowns, roughs, pencils. David Williams. That's pretty good. And then you have like the Adam Hughes version. So yeah, for $1 each, why not try this out? I also like this like behind the scenes stuff too. Try to get some insight into the creative process. Some Adam Hughes thumbnails. How he designs page layouts. Some character designs by Rick Mays. Yeah, that's number 2 there. I guess I have this flagged open too. Okay, nice 2-page splash there. 2-page spread. What's the difference between a splash and a spread? I forget. Character design by Adam Hughes there. Some sketches. Pin-up sketch by Adam Hughes. I'm not all over Hughes' jock, but I do like appreciate it. He's pretty good. I was a hater back in those days. So I was like, he's overrated, but I appreciate him now. Okay, a set of Stalkers 3 to 5 by Mark Verheiden, Mark Texeira, and Jan Strnad, and Mayerik. I really love those names. I've read like issues 1 and 2 of this, I think, and again, it seems kind of like an 80s movie. I think they're. You know what? I don't want to get it wrong, so I'll try not to talk too much shit. Maybe in under a minute if I can brainstorm what it is about. They're kind of like future cops or security guards or something. SWAT. And it kind of has like a slapstick maybe not slapstick, but satirical comedic dystopian like thing. I think there's like a big. It's kind of commentary on like Lee Iacocca even back. I guess when that show was coming out, 1990. So it's kind of like a Bloom County sensibility or something, but there's like hyper violence and stuff too. I don't know. We'll see how it holds up, dude. Actually, I think this series goes up to like number 12. So I'll read up to number 5. We'll see if it's worth looking for the others. I was trying to piece this together for a while though, based on having those first 2 issues. Okay, maybe there's a dime a dozen. I've said this before too. But Elaine Lee and Michael William Kaluta, Starstruck. Yeah, just numbers 2 to 4 for 150, so 50 cents each. That's pretty good. And yeah, I'll try to read these. I'll try. I don't think I had these for a little while though, so I think I had like the first series. It's a little bit confusing because there's never any subtitle or like volume on all these Starstruck. There's even one like from recent years, isn't there? Anyhow, moving on. Wolverine the Best There Is, numbers 9 to 12. For $4, so $1 each there. Cool. Because I was looking for these, so when I saw these in the bin, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, these are prettier just for me. Yeah, fine. And with that last like comic show or something, I got like number 8 or whichever one I was missing, so a complete set now. Yeah, let's go. Okay, this one might be a little bit of trouble. This isn't a comic, but this was in those comic set bins as well. Man, is it like serendipity or whatever? I almost said coincidence, synchronicity or something. Wants me to play Diablo 2. This was like one of the biggest time sinks ever in my life, man. Like, I could just let days or weeks pass by in this game, so it's kind of scary because, like, the day before I found this Brady games, guys. So these are like, if you want 100% your games and know like every little thing that you could do in them and like get like your platinum awards in games, Brady games, guys. This is the guide for Diablo 2. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like the day before this, my friend messaged me. It's like, Diablo 2 Remastered is on sale on the PlayStation Store. And I was like, oh no, man. It's so cheap, I have to get it. I haven't played it yet, though. And that's like a couple months ago. But I never do that either. Like, I hardly ever buy video games because I like to just play like one game at a time. I don't really change through them. But, yeah, a really comprehensive guide. It doesn't look like it has a ton of art, though. The Diablo 1 and Warcraft 2 era of art, that shit is, like, godly, man. Those game manuals are, like, some of the best, like, late 80s, early 90s kind of fantasy horror art. Just the shit. Chris Menson, I think, was the designer back then. Okay, but, like, not to go on and on, because this isn't a channel about that, but it even has, like, all the different rune combinations, man. This is like the Mortal Kombat codes. Nobody knew any of this stuff before. You just had to figure it out and, like, by word of mouth or, like, happenstance, man. This is unreal. I can't get into this. This is too much, man. Yeah. $3 for that. These are, like, when they come out, they're, like, $50 and shit. Who wants them now, though? They're, like, as soon as the game's old, you'll see them, like, at used stores for, like, any game, but Brady Games Guides, that's what they do. Okay, to the 50-cent bin. Mickey Spillane's Mike Danger. I like these. These are fun. Max Allen Collins, the writer of Mystery as well. Futuristic, hard-nosed detective. In a future gone slightly wrong, man. Kind of Demolition Man-y-ish. Because, he's like... fucking hard dude in a soft but corrupt under the surface future, basically. Okay, who said you can't find Dave Stevens in a fucking 50-cent bin anymore? Look at that. Isn't this like, Minty is just like $100 or $200? I might be getting it wrong, maybe, but it's like over 50 or what? But, it looks like there was moisture damage and a fold here. So does that put it down to a VG? I don't know how good a water damaged comic could be. Three-dimensional destruction of the internet. So this also reprints old like crime comics from before Code, I think, or maybe horror comics. But if anybody's like, as far as money value, isn't this? You can see a little bit of the evidence of previous like water damage. But just let me know. How could it, what kind of? I don't want to be a greedy guy, but just to like theoretically, 50 cents. How much could this be worth? Because I know Dave Stevens stuff is like worth a bunch of cash and stuff, right? That is a nice cover too. I already have a copy of this that's like in much better shape. That you used to be able to find these in like dollar bins and stuff years back, but maybe you still can. This is from a 50-cent bin. Okay, again, on Comics Raw Your Brain's recommendation, I finally read Skreemer, because I found Skreemer #1, pieced a set of that together. I had found a trade paperback, but I guess I kind of like floppies more. I tend to read them more. And that changed. I used to read trade paperbacks more and stay away from floppies, but that just goes to show people can change. Anyhow, Skreemer, man, this fucking kicks ass. Thanks for the recommendation to Comics Raw Your Brain. Pete Milligan, Brett Ewins, and like a young Steve Dillon. What is this? What year is this again? 1990 or something? No, 1989. And this is ruthless. This comic will break your heart, man. It'll pull it out. It's a futuristic. Again, I love dystopias and post-apocalypse. But rather than a Mad Maxy kind of future, it's more like maybe Escape from New York, and it's a gangster story. Kind of like, what could you say? Almost like if Scarface had fucking like sci-fi element, like a weird kind of like, maybe there's like mutated like mind reading and stuff, or like, I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, a little monster, isn't it? Scabby, cancerous, covered in weeping buboes, and very nasty. I think this rodent belongs in a cage, don't you? The cage fits over your face, then it's fixed to the table. Cage, face, table. Got that? Open the box. When the rat's in the cage will be shut. A candle will be placed on the cage. Ratty is terrified of fire, Dutch. It will bite and claw like crazy to get away from the fire. But its only way out will be down, Dutch, down through your face. Think about it. Those claws, those teeth digging into your nose, gnawing at your eyes, burrowing into your screaming mouth. Unless you tell us. It's like mutated fucking rat. A lot happens in each issue too. And yeah, that might look like a little campy or something. This is like one of the first things. Yeah, and there's like this parallel story of the Finnegan family. Cuts like to and from the future. Well done, like almost like in that Alan Moore kind of quality of transitions, and you get immersed, man. And the kind of younger Steve Dillon too, you can see his stuff, his storytelling chops. Sorry, his Dillon's storytelling chops as well. He's able to like, those like moments, the page turns, or like the use of like a silent panel. He has so much skill, man. And that stuff. I don't know if he did the layouts or what, but yeah, this goes back to our three main characters. Kind of like cuts back to their like beginnings as well. It all like unfolds at the same time, and but you'd worry maybe that like if it's a sci-fi kind of thing, if there's like a twist or whatever, or like that, you're just gonna be like, oh. But this is like totally rereadable also. This is fucking well crafted stuff, man. I've tried reading a couple of other Peter Milligan things, and it's always been like kind of wacky. Like he's like I'm always like, man, this guy's like he seems smart, but like is he like on crazy like maybe he's even taking more psychedelics and acid than me. I need to get like what is he doing? But no, he's good. He's good. Yeah, so this is a full recommend Skreemer. You can find this in the bargain bins, I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, because I certainly did. Yeah, this will pull out your heart, man. Or as far as gangster stuff, what else I'd compare it to is maybe that that '90s movie Fresh that had like was it Samuel L. Jackson was like his homeless dad. He plays chess in the park and shit. And the part with the fucking pit bull and shit. Ah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, this is like I'd put this in like that kind of realm, but with like a futuristic setting too. Kind of gangsters in like a abandoned kind of poverty-ridden, corrupt New York kind of thing. It's pretty sick. Okay, lastly from cover to cover bookshelf, he always has his old free comic book day stuff on at hand still in stock, and you're just limited to one per visit. So that's kind of cool. And I grabbed this Inkle universe because Jodorowsky and Mobius are the men. And again, I'll say like I don't mind when it has like this stamp on it rather than just a blank space. I kind of like it actually. I think I actually prefer it. Okay, moving on. Next place I happened by that month was 204 Comics, and I just keep having bad luck that I keep missing their sales. I keep, like they actually have had a couple of sales in the past couple of whiles, but these are like full price. But whatever. I hope that they get like a ton of new stock there too. Hopefully their sales were to clear room for new stuff. Mike Johnson writing on Blade Runner 2039. I liked 2019 and 2029, so we'll see about this. Just putting a set of Ferals by David Lapham and Gabriel Andrade together. So number 5, number 6. Yeah, because I have this in trade, but I like it enough to get it in the floppies as well. Number 13, good werewolf stuff. You've heard me talk about it. Number 15, number 16, number 17, number 18. Yeah, he's a good artist too. Okay, and last from there, Zulu Nation. Shout out to the Zulu Nation. And I gotta say, man, isn't it like Red Dead Online? Come on, Rockstar, you made it that we can't have posse names anymore. One of my posses was Shaka Zulu. And I was like Shaka, like, shocker. But, yeah, now we can't have posse names because they're scared of people abusing it. My legendary N-word account can't have a white dog named Lovecraft anymore. It just says pet dog. Fuck out of here with that shit, you bastards, Rockstar. Anyways, Zulu Nation. Always gotta collect Zulu stuff. Zulu Dawn, Zulu, Shaka Zulu. A comic about the Zulu Wars, man. I've never seen this before. Has a map at the beginning, too. Gotta see people nerd out and make fucking comics about the Zulu War. Let's go. Brett Truax and Wayne Reed. We'll check that out. Okay, next job. Mighty Comics found this issue of Razzle, putting this together. Razzle number 4. I'm just grabbing all of it, kind of piecing it all together. Sabretooth, number 3. Sadly missing number 2. I hope this is from the series that I was looking for. It seems to be from the same year and the same creative team, but I was like gonna try and read it, but it looks like so different than where it left off in number 1, so I'm like, damn it, man. Number 1 had a lot of stuff happen in it too, so I just I used to read stuff out of order and then just like reread it when I'd like be able to complete it, but I don't know if I can anymore. Anyway, yeah, if you're willing to dig, there's some pretty good back issue deals there. Like I paid $2 each for these, but don't get these because I want the rest of them after. I'm just trying to get the first 6 for now. Fatale by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I just asked him like where the what do you call it? First storyline leaves off, kind of first chapter. So number 2, number 3, number 4. I'm not like completely on board. I enjoy Ed Brubaker, but like his characters are. I guess the thing that makes it tough to get into it is that the characters aren't like nice. they're all very flawed. Number 4, at least in the ones I've read. Number 5, but yeah, the owner of that shop is a fan of Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. He seems to get like a lot of their stuff. Number 6. Here's a weird one of Pre-Raphaelite Persuasion. Yeah, these are all like stuff that I asked him how much it was, and he's like, $2. I'll look at the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood with 2 stories illustrated by Mark Murphy from Tome Press. I really like the Pre-Raphaelite painters movement, if you will. I like Millet a lot, though I know he wasn't actually part of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. This has a lot of the history. Elizabeth Eleanor, wife of Dante Gabriel Rossetti. It's some sad stuff, man. She posed for the Ophelia painting by... Wait, no, you know what? I was thinking Waterhouse. I like Waterhouse. Millet was in there, yeah. Millet painting the Ophelia. Apparently her in that bath, like, it's such a crazy, awesome painting, man, but I didn't even know that her posing in that, like, cold bath, like, of course, like any warm bath, it'll get pretty cold pretty quickly if you're trying to paint. Like, it's obviously more than an hour is going to go by. That led to her having health problems later, and she, like, miscarried, and maybe... I don't want to get it wrong here. Sorry, it's like a couple months ago that I read this. So, I can't remember if she, like... Yeah, she miscarried and then, like, became addicted to... It was like laudanum. And died, like, later. And, Rossetti... It's nice stuff too. Oh man, it's so tragic. I can't believe it. There's that Ophelia painting that she posed for. Yeah. But yeah, some good art history of the Pre-Raphaelite movement. And the kind of biographical or dramatic element too definitely hits home with the human element. It's not just history. Definitely feel that hurts, man. That's rough. Oh my god, that's so crazy. I can't believe that's like one of my favorite paintings. I didn't know that, and it's like so bittersweet, I guess you could call it. Like, it's bittersweet even calling it that. Like, that doesn't put it into words. That's so fucking harsh, man. Weapon X, Thierry. I've been piecing these together, but I finally read this, and like, I don't know. I don't know if I should have been piecing these all together. I'll see. I was kind of like bored, but I guess it was just setting the stage, getting the plate spinning. Yeah, $2. Wolverine and the Black Hat Claws by Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, is it? Joseph Michael Linsner. Palmiotti and Gray have done some awesome stuff on Jonah Hex, certainly, and also like their stuff on Painkiller Jane from what I've read. So as far as a writing team, that's cool. And Linsner, I like his interiors, and yeah, I like these characters. So we'll see. This looks like it might be a little more cartoony. Damn, girl. So we'll see though, but it might be fun. Gray and Palmiotti can be pretty fun. I kind of like it though when they don't go too like silly. But yeah, we'll see. I like it too if Wolverine isn't like he could be a little bit flirtatious. Stop writing him like that he's like afraid to flirt and stuff, man. Short guy, get it in. Sorry, guys. I just say stuff because you gotta say stuff. You know, you filled some dead air, so. But this looks pretty nice. Get it. Anyway, yeah, we'll see about that. Those are just issues 2 and 3 of 3. So hopefully you can get a good gist. But Wolverine patch. Larry Hama. I never read this, but I kind of hate when he's not in a fucking costume. I don't like when he's patched. I don't like the way he looks, man. I just want to see him in his costume. I felt like when you're a kid, that's how you feel, and I guess that's never gone away. But I'll see. But this is Larry Hama right on the writing, so we'll see finally. Okay, he sold me these for $1. A bunch of Nazi in Hell. Juan Jose Rip again. I think it's El Torres on the writing. The art's sick. Yeah, the writing's pretty fun too. And I've said it before that pretty fun series, but it's too bad that like it's the Juan Jose Rip didn't do the final issue of this. One of those things, I guess, man. So it doesn't keep it up, but he's pretty kick-ass. Just show a little bit. You know, it's pretty nutty stuff. Okay, Nazi in Hell on Earth. This is, yeah, $1 each, man, that rules. Enrique Lopez Lorenzana on art on this one. El Torres on the writing too. But this guy, like, he can take the mantle. He can take up the reins after Rip. It's pretty sick stuff too. Yeah, some fan service, as you would expect. Yeah, that nice perspective too. Crazy big budget stuff. Big budget and no limits to the imagination or what you're allowed to do or not to. That's one thing about this medium, right? No limit. Okay, so Nazi in Hell number 2. And number 3. Sadly, no number 4 in there. What are you gonna do? $1 for Uncanny X-Men 168. Sure. Yeah, I guess somebody traded in or sold or gave a bunch of stuff that like. So this is like $1 or 50 cents. He was just destroying anything that like was water damaged. I was like, whoa, wait a minute there. You got some Tim Truman Conan. Let me see it. And Jose Villarrubia was the he was a collaborator with Richard Corbin a bunch, right? For color, and he does the color on this. Truman wrote this. It's somebody else on the art. It is Thomas Giorello. But yeah, for like 50 cents, so I'm like, don't destroy it. Just sell it to me for 50 cents. I'm curious about that Tim Truman Conan. Another one that I had to save from destruction. Fantasy Masterpieces starring the Silver Surfer. I guess it's got like a rip on the cover though. But you know. Yeah, and I guess this was like restored cover, or was it stapled like this back then? I think this was like if it was messed up, somebody else. Stanley and John Buscema or Sal Buscema? John Buscema. I don't know. I'm a sucker for 50-cent deals. Okay, the bargain trade paperback section is half of the U.S. cover price. I found this, Conan and the Songs of the Dead, some Joe Lansdale and Tim Truman on Conan. Let's get it. Let me see. Finally. I think I just had random issues of this before, but then I was like, I want to read it in order, read the whole thing. Yeah, let's get it. Looks good. Yeah, it does look, that looks pretty sick. That looks good. Hopefully it stands up, you know? Okay. Creepy. I mean, it's like kind of eerie. That I keep finding only these like trade paperbacks of like the next chapter that I'm ready to read. Rachel Rising number 5. How many are these in total? I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, but hopefully that continues, or I guess it'll find me at the right time. Get the Ouija board out, man. It's weird stuff. What are the odds? Dollar Bin Wizard magazine. There are a couple, but most of them are like beat up or coverless. But this is Jay Lee. What is this, number 4? Or Jay Lee, sorry, Jim Lee. X Babes, issue number 14. A nice ad for, and like this reminds one, of course, of like Cartoonist Kayfabe, man. How great is that channel? Hey, some Bruce and Babes part series. How fun was that flipping through Wizard with those guys? Not to get maudlin, but been revisiting a bunch of their videos too. Didn't shout them out in the last video because everybody knows. It might be the nature of parasocial. I don't want to say parasocial relationships, but just like the nature of parasocial era that we're in is like even channels like that could put out like hundreds of hours of entertainment is like maybe they do one thing to like piss certain people off and then it's just like just throw it all away. And I'm not talking about like the controversial like the events or anything, but just like even an opinion that somebody says will be like, I hate this channel now. So I don't know. I don't know how people could hate that channel. I've seen it though. I've seen people be like, this. Whatever. This isn't about that. Okay, moving on to new releases. All right, I'm just gonna blow through these because I just don't care. They're fine. You know what? I don't want to be totally out of touch though. Like I gave up on new releases for so many years, but I just want to like keep the dream alive, man. Isn't I should just like I feel like it's not in the industry's fault entirely. Like my finger just must not be on the pulse. There must be like I mean like there's obviously some good new releases in here, but even especially out there that I'm missing. But Cruel Kingdom totally fine. Again, these EC. I'm just kind of like collecting these out of momentum now, just inertia of like the just been collecting them. Cruel Kingdom number 4. These are all just totally fine. Yeah, they're like they make me mad and how like kind of mediocre they are. That's awful. Maybe that's awful or mean to say, but that's just what the truth is. Like they're totally fine. If you wrote this like for like a school assignment or something, you'd be like, "Hey, I was pretty creative there." Yeah, all right, cool. But like that's about it. That's about the level that they are, right? Okay. Once in a while you'll get a standout, but not a lot. Epitaphs from the Abyss number 9. So I'm gonna try to like find channels or recommendations of new stuff. This is fun though. I might keep reading these. G.I. Joe number 2. This is a David Finch cover. I think I prefer the Nagayama covers, but they're like not around. But the David Finch covers are pretty cool too. Yeah, this is just like pretty fun to read so far, man. And who knows about like if this will be worth rereading? Oh man, these Cobra villain chicks finishing people off on the battlefield. Something about that. But yeah, who knows if this will be like fun to reread, if they'll like be great in the test of time, but they're like fun. And I want like new stuff. I feel like with new stuff, it's like I want to pay like the industry church of comics like just a tithe, like a tribute to be like keep going, my culture, my religion, please. It's not my religion, but like I don't know. It feels like something like paying it, like just come on, guy. It's like come on, just keep going. So I want to find new stuff that can serve that. Like be like, yeah, there's good stuff. Yeah, and GI Joe seems pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep trying it out. Heatseeker Combustion number 4. These have all been pretty fun too. It's kind of hard for me to talk on it as far as it's just like fun kind of spy war stuff. But this isn't, it's like increasingly not a dark series. It seems like it's getting like more lighthearted with time. Maybe it's always been a little bit lighthearted, but yeah, and there's like tits and stuff too. So, and it's nice. All the writing and the art and the pacing, the dialogue, the characters, they're all just like fun. So I don't know how else to put it. This also has like a new character. She's almost kind of like a super soldier. Not quite though. She's like, a little more like human level. But it's cool that the way she talks in like kind of pop culture or like comic book culture references, it's like she grew up reading comic books because that's like all she had for one thing. It's actually done in like a pretty fun way. She's pretty likable. Surprisingly, I was like, this could be done poorly or get old fast, but actually it was like pretty amusing and like well balanced. Solomon Kane, the new Solomon Kane from Titan Comics by Patrick Zurcher on the writing and the art. This is a Mike Mignola variant cover. This seems pretty good. I dug it. It's kind of like it kind of feels old fashioned, like the Marvel series or like the Robert E. Howard a bit, where it's nothing too like crazy, but the art is nice and like it just kind of has that old style of writing and dialogue of like Sherlock Holmesy type stuff or Arthur Conan Doyle. I know it's Robert E. Howard that did Solomon Kane though, but it's not as gritty, I'd say, so far. It's kind of setting the stage, and I did enjoy it. I'm gonna stick with it for now. The art also is like really nice period art and action, and like yeah, every page is like pretty nice actually. And rarely do you get like a guy who can write and do the art without kind of like flubbing it on one or on either front. Seems pretty good. Yeah, they quickly introduce a lot of characters and plot, but they do it in a way that yeah, you kind of remember and distinguish each character. Solomon Kane looks cool. His design is like pretty good, because usually he looks kind of like a stern kind of middle-aged guy, right? Like and like not necessarily handsome. He's like a Puritan kind of Quaker type dude. Not that that makes him unhappy, but like it's weird to have your protagonist look like I like that he's like not like handsome. He's just kind of like a dude. I guess they make him like a little more handsome than he's usually depicted though. But yeah, pretty fun. So far, this issue one just kind of like sets the stage, I guess. So but I'm on board so far. I like here's some dialogue here. I'm Solomon Kane. Forgive the intrusion. I've been pursued across Italia and thought it prudent to wait inside. He like broke into their place. But I like how how would you explain that without being, if you were to do that in his shoes, It's very, very concise, but representative of like how he's not a bad guy. And he's like respectful and stuff. Okay, Swamp Thing issue 37 reprint or like representation. Because this was like one key I was always kind of curious about. I'm like, I love Constantine or like Hellblazer, so maybe there's a key I would possibly aim to get. Let me check out if it's like actually a good read, if it is like a good representation of the character. Because sometimes a first appearance it's not really like indicative of the character that they became, but yeah, this was pretty good. Constantine is Constantine in it. Is it really like a standout issue? It's cool. I like how gnarly Swamp Thing looks there. Oh yeah, that's nice too. This is Total Ben on the ink. I like Beset and Total Ben the best though. But yeah, this is kind of good. I feel like this key I would only get it if it was like half of like what it's worth or something. Like if it's like a really nice copy of that, but I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting this for a steal. Maybe just to. I guess it's never gonna like. will this actual issue ever go higher? I guess there's no movies or anything on the horizon for it, so maybe you can wait and think about it if you're looking. Okay, new release of Terminator. Well, that was just a couple of months old now, but Declan Shalvey and Mulvey on the art. Terminator #5. Again, they're like standalone issues, and still giving the goods, man. Still just a nice little one-issue sci-fi story, one-issue Terminator story that's like fun and unpredictable and creative. Haven't seen each of these is like I haven't seen this kind of set piece or like thing done with the Terminators before, so I'm digging it. It's good. This is the FOC Alex Ross cover variant. Okay, these also I'm just catching up, man. I haven't read these yet because I need to like read them in order. But Den, Richard Corbin, just getting these. They look nice, so that's #4. So that's not very new. #5 is like maybe the most recent. I think there's another one about to come out though too. Movovum, is that it? Or is yeah. Anyhow, this is #5. I'll just show you a little bit because. Oh yeah, you know what I should show is like extra stuff. That way it probably won't be like TNA. Won't get in trouble. Unpublished end drawing from 2004. Some line art for Comic Book Legal Defense Annual. 2004 unpublished drawing. This isn't indicative of the book, though. I'm sure if you're... Yeah, this is more like what it's like. Really just amazing printing. The shit looks insane, man. Yeah. Gunsmith Cats Omnibus, Book 1. I have almost all of these. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 of the old trade paperbacks. And you've heard me say before, I kind of don't like omnibuses or omnibuy because they're just too thick. And I'm always worried about the binding getting wrinkled and the edges getting all frayed here where your fingers go or something. I've just had bad luck with them all. And like, I'm sure some binding and quality is better than others. Oh, yeah. So I'm just gonna like, I'll probably just sell this one and stick to the trades. But, you know, this is like another really fun old, it's from the 90s, crime comic. It's just fun, pulpy stuff to read, man. Like, you could just power through these and enjoy it the whole time. She's a gunsmith, so there's a lot of gun love and cars, too, like kind of classic muscle cars and underground crime. And Minnie May is the bomb specialist. Yeah, even though it looks like really cartoony and stuff, it's good crime and yeah, just total being like a gun nerd for her. She just like loves getting the chance to like yeah, she owns the gun shop, but she's also a bounty hunter. You might recognize the art because this is the guy who did the character designs and a lot of promotional artwork for Bubblegum Crisis originally, and also the Riding Bean cartoon. This lead character, Raleigh Vincent, she was in the Riding Bean cartoon as like kind of his like partner in a way, or like partner in work. But she was like blonde and light skinned in that. But in this, she's like kind of brown and dark hair. She's a babe either way though. But yeah, kind of. This is fun. This is one like perpetually in the collection, but I think I'm gonna just aim to get those trade paperbacks that I'm missing instead of going with these. But this is like a great value because this is what, $30 for 3. Is this like 2 or 3 of the chapters? What is there, about 9 in total? Originally 30 US, 40 Canada. So if you have like a shop that you'll order it through, you can probably be paying about that US price in Canadian dollars. Yeah, it's a steal because those trade paperbacks are like They're rare as hell, and people sell them for more like $50 each and shit now. So if you're into this, go for this one. This is a recommend. But it's not like mind blowing. It's not like a masterpiece where it's going to change your life in any way. It's just fun, pulpy crime. Okay, this set of Web Witch from Tim Vigil. Avatar, or this is actually through Boundless. They're always just like cleaning out their warehouse of old stuff, I guess. So this set of 5 comics was $20. And that's probably a good deal because I think these go for way more. So I'm kind of even thinking maybe I should have got more. Maybe I should have ordered more sets of these if I wanted to speculate. Because this one is a foil version, limited to 500 copies from a comic convention of the. It's kind of like an ashcan or preview of Web Witch. And these are all like minty too. They say there's like a warning that some of them might have like a little bit of wear, but they're always like minty. But it seems the only thing is, right, that if you're gonna order these, the Boundless will only ship sets that don't have nudity on the cover, it seems, to Canada. And unfortunately, they're only like through Diamond, for however long that is around still. They pretty much only offer the ones that are like have nudity on the covers. I guess because those are bigger sellers. I don't know. But I've been looking for these for a while. Finally, like a set that they offered that didn't have nudity on the cover. So it's just Tim Vigil art. And it's kind of good that it's like written, like it kind of follows the villain's point of view. Like almost like King Kong or something, but like, or war, like maybe a 80s movie like Warlock or something, right? Where you're kind of following the villain mainly. Yeah, and the art's pretty nice too. But let me see here. I'll show a little bit more. This is the last thing to show you. Christ, the Web Witch is attacking us. Die, you evil bitch. Jesus, she moves so fast. I can't get a beat on her. She's running up the wall. Tears his eyes out and he's screaming. Oh God, I don't want to die. Please. She's on the ceiling. Kind of like that. You know, that's a nice shot too, of course. Lots of those. There's even one part where they're like just showing a bunch of naked Web Witches like in the lair in their cave, and one of them like just totally like it's not even touched on in the story, but there's like her, what would you call it? Mons is like on against a rock, and you just see like gruel, like a trail of gruel, to put it in millennial web terms. Just in the background, like always like crazy stuff and details and stuff that he puts, right? Moving in position for a better shot. We'll get, yes, she's saying. Holy shit! She jumps on the helicopter. We got a serious problem back here. She's holding on to the bottom of the copter, Captain. I'm going to try and shake her off. I'm making them all sound like Bill Paxton. So, yeah, some nice art too. Pretty sick. He just gets better with time, it seems, man. Like he's done a lot of awesome stuff. But let me remind you to, if you don't already, follow him on Instagram, because he's like just even way better. The stuff he does now makes this stuff look like trash, man. Christ, she's on the windshield. Jesus, someone shoot her. She is like slashes, tears them all up, throws them out of the helicopter. Oh no. How does she get to the cockpit so fast? How can you be so fast? Evolution. I just wish I could make your death more slow. Yes, because, you know, she's the evil lady, so she's always saying some pretty cool evil stuff. Just basking in her evil nature. But, I gotta say, man, I was like so stoked reading the first couple issues, but it kind of like loses steam at the end. So, you know, I don't want to talk shit, but just if you're gonna go out of your way for these, just be warned about that. But there is like there's still always like highlights, like this vegetation and like some compositions and stuff, and Like, that looks kind of Beset or Mark Schultz or something, that vegetation. Yeah, there's like sometimes there's a little bit of like a clunkiness in his art from like these previous eras. He's getting so pro now though, dude. I can't even like, I'm talking shit because I just always talk shit. But yeah, he's got skills. It's kind of fun to look at, and again, like how I was saying, like VHS, it just makes me think of like a good, like unrated VHS that is like way crazier than any others. Um, but yeah, this is the third final chapter of this series. It has its high points, but as you can see, it's like it kind of loses some of the rigor. I kind of get the feeling like it kind of ended abruptly too. So my impression, and I might be incorrect, is that he just was like, "All right, enough. I'm just gonna end this now," and like the art too, a little bit. Like it's still pretty sick, but it's just not as sick as earlier. But still has its highlights, its high moments. But you can tell like that panel is pretty kick ass, and then it's like meh, but still kind of a steal of a deal. I think these might be, if I ever get the chance again, I'd probably order like more than one set of these and maybe just like kind of maybe the right person will pay for it in the future or not, whatever. It's just kind of cool that they're like minty. Lastly, from Avatar, they also put out these like they offer these at like a discount or whatever. Neonomicon, Alan Moore and Jason Burrows is like the complete trade paperback or whatever. So I think the Courtyards first, then Neonomicon, and then Providence Compendium. This is like the omnibus, I guess it would be called. Not as thick as an omnibus, but the complete Providence, right? Was it 12 issues for $29.99? So that's probably a good deal too. Okay, guys, like and subscribe and stuff if you're not already, and comment if you care to do so. Always fun to hear from you. And yeah, we'll talk comics. There'll be another video pretty soon. I still got to catch up for April as well. That box is ready to go. I just haven't, I want to like prepare sometimes a little bit. Try to make it a little more fun. Okay, guys. So thanks for watching and stuff. All right, cheers. See ya.